Hi everyone, it's Miss Smith again. I'm so happy you're here this year. And for all of my sixth graders who I have not met, I'm so happy that you are at Lane. Even though this year looks really different, we still want to make sure that you all have a chance to get library books. It's not going to be how we normally do it. We won't be able to bring classes down to the library, so instead I'm going to bring the books to you. So the way we're going to do this is going to involve a lot of online researching, whereas normally you would come to the library, read the synopsis or summary on the jacket flap or the back of the book. This time you're actually going to read about the books online and then decide which books you want to read. So here's what we're going to do. When you go to Google and type in FWCS Destiny, and that's going to bring you to a link for the FWCS library. You'll click on that link and that'll give you a chance to log in the right hand corner. You're going to log in with your normal school login that you would use for anything else. Okay, it's your last name and then your password. So log in. When you get to this point, it's going to show you a few different things. You want to go over to catalog, go to catalog, and on the left hand side you're going to see something called Destiny Discover. Go ahead and click on that link and it's going to bring you to a new page. This is a really cool resource, and if you were here last year you may have already used this before. This shows you everything that we have in the library without having to be here. So if you see recently added books, these are the newest books that we've gotten to the library. And right now, I'm looking at our newest Young Hoosier books for this year, which is something I'll get into in another video. So when you're here, you can scroll through new books that we have, or you can choose by topic, or we call them genres. So if you remember, genres are the different types of books we have in the library. So if you really like fantasy books, you can click on fantasy, and it'll show you. You can just search through fantasy books, or you can narrow it down. If you know a specific book you want to read, you can search for it in the top corner, or you can go even more by if it's part of a series, the subject, author, all of that. So let's say you're scrolling and you see this book granted and you think, that looks really interesting. The first thing you need to look at is in this left-hand corner. It's currently green and it says in. That means it's available in something that you can check out from the library. If it's marked red and it says out, that means somebody already has it. So you want to make sure your book is in, that way it's something you can check out. Then you can click on it. And this is going to bring you more information about the book. So you can see a synopsis right here, a little bit about what it's going to be. You can actually see reviews. This is a new book, so no one has reviewed it yet. And then you can see more information, how many pages, when it was published, okay, things like that. This is where you would read the reviews if there were some. You can explore, so it says what subjects, like what is going to be in it, how many copies we have, and if it's available, and if the book has won any awards. So you can see this is a really cool book because it's been nominated for a lot of things. Okay. I don't know. Yep, Indiana right here. It's a Young Hoosier Book Award for this year. That's why we have it in the library. Okay. So now you're at the point, this sounds really interesting. I want this book. We have to make a list of all the books you want. That way I know which books to check out. So what you're going to do, you're going to open a new tab on your computer, okay? And you're going to go over to this waffle. You remember from last year, it's the waffle. We love that. And this is going to take you to your Google Drive, this green, yellow, and blue triangle. This is going to store your class list, okay? So your screen's going to look a little bit different from mine when you get in here because it's going to have your information and not mine. And you're actually going to go to the button that says shared with me because your ELA teachers will have already given this to you. However, for me, I'm going to have to show you just what it looks like on my screen. So let's say you're in 6th grade and you have Mrs. Converse and you're in her first period class. When you go over to Shared with Me, you're going to see a folder that looks like this. And we may get around to renaming it. But for now, this is what it looks like. So you're going to open up that folder, and there is a spreadsheet in here. So you have to open that up too. It's quite a few steps. So remember, go to Shared with Me, find the period that you have your English class, ELA. So this is 1A because you're on an A day, or it would be 1B if you're on a B day. Then you're going to click on the folder and open up the sheet that's inside. Now this is where you're going to type in your name. I would put Miss Smith. Then you're going to click on the book you want. It's called Granted. And this is really important. I need you to put the author as well. So I know the book's called Granted. It's by John David Anderson. So a way that's really easy to do this is click and hold to highlight it. Then go to your keyboard. Hit the button that says Control and then click the letter C. That will copy it for you. And then go back to our spreadsheet and click Control and then click the letter V. That'll paste it in there. That way I know, in case there's 2 books called Granted, which book to choose for you. So now you'll see on the sheet, this was book number 1. If you were here last year, you know it's normal that you can have 3 books at a time from the library. That's why we have selections for books 1, 2, and 3. If you're in 6th grade, that's new to you, but now you know you can have 3 books at a time checked out from the library. We also have a column called an alternate book. Because we have to wait for books to be returned because of COVID, there may be times when you look at a book and it says that it's available, and when I go to pull it, it's no longer there. Especially some of our newer books and Young Hoosiers and those that are really popular. So I want you to list a 4th book in case I'm going through and I don't have one or more of the books that you want to read. Okay, so once you get your first book in, you'll go back to Destiny, exit out of that book, and then you can go back. You can look through collections. You can see all different types of books. We don't have very many collections. Don't do that, excuse me. I'm just trying to get back home. There we go, just Destiny Discover. You can scroll through everything. Recently added books. See all. There's a ton. I'm always trying to add more books to the library. Just choose ones that look interesting to you. Okay, you can search for a book. If you know that you really want to read The Hunger Games, you can search for it. And there it is. And you can even create lists, which is something we'll go to in another video. So if a book is out, when you first try to request it, you can get it another time. Okay. You can search by subjects, you can search by genres on the left-hand side. This is really going to be something for you to go through and explore on your own. Just make sure that once you find one you want to read, so let's say I click on The Hunger Games, and we see what it's about. That sounds interesting. It's even a series. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to type in The Hunger Games, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to choose the author. So you highlight, you hit the Control button, and then you hit the letter C, as in cat. Come back, and then Control, and then V, as in violin. Okay, and that's going to paste it in here for me. And you'll go ahead and do that with more books. If you know of a book you want to read offhand, you don't have to get it from Destiny. Go ahead and type it in. Say you have always wanted to read Stella by Starlight. You can just type it, but you do have to get the author for me. So you may have to go back to Destiny for that. You guys are going to complete these lists. And then the next day I'm going to bring the books up to your classroom. So please be patient as we work out this system, and know that even though you put your books in here, they may not always be available when I go to pull them. So we're learning the best way to do this, but for now, this is what we're going to try. So use this video to help you if you forget. I'm always here to answer questions if you have any. But until then, I'm really excited to get some books in your hands and to hear what you guys have been reading over the summer. Bye for now.